Larson stinks up the show. There was no tire fall off. And should Bristol have two dates? We're going to talk about all of it coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good this Monday. All right, Kyle Larson stunk up the show this weekend here at Bristol, not only in the Cup Series race, but also in the Xfinity Series race. Had a good run in the Truck Series, but didn't get the win in that one, so no sweep a la Kyle Busch. But this is win number 2 for Kyle Larson on the season. Also his 25th win since driving for Hendrick and his 31st win all time. That moves him to number 29 on the all-time wins list. 1 win behind Dale Jarrett, 2 wins behind Fireball Roberts, and 3 wins behind both Martin Truex Jr. and Kurt Busch. And like I said, he did it in very dominating and extensive fashion, so that is actually going to be the bad race, and we'll get to the bad race after we get to the top 10, so let's run through the top 10 real quick, and then we'll get into this bad race and all the things surrounding Bristol here. So like I said, win for Kyle Larson. Denny Hamlin here in second place, definitely had the second fastest car on the weekend, but Larson's car, just like I said, stunk up the show and dominated. Another good run for Ty Gibbs, who early on in the season was getting like all kinds of talk about, Ty Gibbs isn't good and this and that and the other. Well, the last 3 races, Ty Gibbs has showed that he does deserve to be in the Cup Series. Good run for him. He has turned around his slump, and he is now on a hot streak. So from slump to heater for the 54 there. Chase Briscoe, teammate, also needed a good run, and he got it there with a 4th place finish just behind Ty Gibbs. Ryan Blaney here in the 5th position in the Menards Richmond Water Heaters Ford. He was the first among the Ford contingent, had that off-kilter strategy, so he might have got more spots than that if he hadn't stayed out for that long run. William Byron here finishing in the 6th place. The Exalta Chevrolet didn't qualify very well, but was able to work his way up to 6th place. And another person who didn't qualify very well, Ross Chastain here in the 7th position, qualified 35th. So good run for the 1 car. Christopher Bell, the other Joe Gibbs car, here in 8th. So all Joe Gibbs racing cars in the top 10 there. Good weekend for the Toyota gang. Didn't get the win they wanted, though. A.J. Allmendinger, 9th place finish. Good run for him. One of his better tracks. And then doing what he does always with Justin Alexander. You don't hear about him all day. Austin Dillon bringing it home in 10th place. The rest of your top 10, Carson Hocevar, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, who made it exciting early on, was up to 2nd place at one point. Kyle Busch, with that speeding penalty, was able to recover to 14th. And then you got Chase Elliott in the 15th position. All right, so that was your good race, and amongst drivers, bad race is going to have to go to Alex Bowman for the blown engine, and of course, SVG continues to struggle in his rookie campaign. He was one of the cautions, it might have been the only caution for an actual caution that wasn't a stage break. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was one of the cautions for sure. His just bad rookie campaign continues, but for bad race, I want to talk about the race itself, because I think it was just a bad race for the fans. It was an absolute snooze fest. And so let's start off with tires. A lot of people are going to blame this on tires. We were expecting to see a lot of tire fall off even in the post-race. You saw Denny Hamlin say we were expecting tire fall off. Now, there are a couple of things that could have factored into this. Did Goodyear bring too hard of a compound? We don't know. We know it was softer than a normal tire compound they would bring here. But there's also the temperature to factor in. When they went out in practice, it was about 30 degrees cooler, and you saw the tires cordon and just not reacting well in the practice. And so temperature being 30 degrees different could definitely play into that. And it's just we're getting to a point where if the tire is that sensitive that 30 degrees is going to matter wear-wise one way or the other, it's kind of crazy. The other thing to factor in with tire wear is once the team saw that the tires were cordoned after about 50 or 60 laps, they made probably adjustments to the cars, and that's going to extend the life of the tire. So that's one thing that the practice session is going to do for you when you have a compound like this. So that's probably twofold there. But one thing is for sure, in the actual race itself, we saw not enough tire fall off to have comers and goers to make a difference in this particular event. And for that reason, the tires could not crutch the car. And I use that word specifically, could not crutch the car this time, because while a lot of people want to blame the tires here for Bristol being a terrible race, I'm still going to put it on the car. Since they've introduced this next-gen car, we have not had a whole lot of great short-track racing to write home about, aside from a few races where you had a ton of tire fall-off, which, thank goodness Goodyear gave us that tire fall off, but that is a tire crutching a platform of this car, at least this package on this car, that it's just not a good product at short tracks here. And so the tires have crutched it a few races, but now the teams have figured out the tire when the tire is soft like this, and they can now make adjustments to this car when the tire is soft like that. So you can't really crutch it with the tire anymore if you're going to have a practice session. So really, the only way to crutch it now is no practice, which is going to stink and suck for the teams. And then throw a tire compound at it and, hope for the best. But then you can get a debacle where like Indianapolis that one year, if you want to go like all the way back, where you might be making 30-lap runs with no practice. So you can't really do that either. And that's why I say the car is really the main issue with the short track deal. They need a better package for this car. You can't keep propping it up with tires, because there is a ton of smart guys on these race teams. They are going to figure out this tire, and once they figure out the tire, you're back to square one where you were at, where this car, this next-gen car, just does not run well on short tracks. Which brings me to my next point. With the previous generation car, Bristol, Richmond, short tracks were Martinsville. Short tracks were your favorite tracks. It's what you looked forward to just about every time you went to them, because those cars performed so well, and they're so similar to the Xfinity Series car. You see it in the Xfinity Series. It's so exciting down in the Xfinity Series when we go to these short tracks for the most part. Bristol notwithstanding, because Kyle Larson did wear them out there. But the point being, we did look forward with the last generation car at short tracks, and now this new car, this new platform, has killed short track racing, and has hurt the product that is Bristol. Bristol attendance has been down significantly for the day race, even when they tried the dirt escapades over there. So a lot of people have brought into the question, does Bristol need 2 dates? I've been super consistent on this. If you watch the live streams, if you watch the channel, I think, with the exception of Talladega and Daytona, all tracks only deserve 1 date. And I say that for this reason. That's the best way to expand your tracks. You could get different tracks in there, like Rockingham. A lot of people want Rockingham to have a Cup date. Thank goodness Rockingham is back this weekend coming up for the Xfinity and Truck Series, so thankful for that. But for all those fans that want other tracks to come back, this would be the best way to do it. Just every track that has 2 dates, take 1 date away from them, with the exception, I think, of Talladega and Daytona, because I think they're just unique enough tracks. Maybe Charlotte if they keep the Roval, but I don't know how well Roval ticket sales have gone off the top of my head. So with the exception of those tracks right there, I think each track getting 1 date would be the deal. But I think the reason this conversation is coming up isn't because of the attendance. I think it's just because of the actual product on the racetrack that Bristol produces now with this next-gen car. So this next-gen car, the short track package, is what needs to be fixed overall. The talk about the tires, the talk about Bristol getting 1 date, all that is driven by the product that this car produces on short tracks. Yeah, so a bit of a long rant on the bad race there, but I do have to say the bad race just goes to the race itself because it was boring. Now let's take a look at where the points stand after race number 9 of the season. William Byron continues to be your leader. He is up 30 points over Denny Hamlin. Third place going to be Christopher Bell, where William Byron is up 41 over him, 42 to the next man there, Kyle Larson in 4th. Chase Elliott 5th, Ryan Blaney 6th in points, Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace round out your top 8 there. 9 through 16, is going to be Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Preece, Kyle Busch, and A.J. Allmendinger in the 16th position, but he wouldn't be in the playoffs if they started today because the 17th place man, Josh Berry, has a win, so A.J. Allmendinger would be on the outside looking in. Josh Berry, as it stands right now, if the playoffs started today, would be your last man in. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 18th, Michael McDowell, Ty Gibbs, and John Hunter Nemechek, your other drivers on the outside looking in. All right, that's a wrap for me. That's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you have a good Monday, or as good as a Monday can be, and I'll catch you on the next one. No live stream Tuesday, but we'll get back on track next week for sure. All right, that's it. Peace.